Good morning, students. Today I am going to explain you the process of fertilization in flowering plants. Okay, you can see the figure. This figure, this is the longitudinal section of a flower showing growth of pollen tube. Okay, after pollination, so many pollen grains present on the stigma, but only one pollen grain germinates with the help of pollen tube through the germ pore. This pollen tube contains two male gametes. Earlier I have told you that pollen grains shed at two-celled condition. One is vegetative cell and other one is generative cell. That generative cell divides in the pollen tube to form two male gametes. Clear? Now come to the process of the fertilization. You can see here the structure of the ovule. Inside the ovule, mature embryo sac is present, having two polar nuclei, one egg cell with two synergids. First of all, pollen tube enters through the micropillar region. This is the micropillar region of the ovule, and the entry of pollen tube guided by the synergid cells present here, synergid cells. In the synergid cells, filiform apparatus present that actually guides the entry of the pollen tube. Clear? Now one of the male gamete fuses with the egg cell to form zygote. Zygote is a diploid structure because it is formed by the fusion of the male and female gamete. This process is known as syngamy. So what is syngamy? The fusion of male gamete and female gamete is known as syngamy. And what is the product of syngamy? Zygote, that is a diploid structure, and this zygote ultimately develops into embryo. Clear? Now come to the second male gamete. This second male gamete fuses with the polar nuclei. You can see two nucleus here. Polar nuclei, the nucleus of the polar nuclei fuse to form a diploid structure known as secondary nucleus. So this is a secondary nucleus, diploid structure. Other male gamete fuses with the secondary nucleus to form a triploid structure known as primary endosperm nucleus, because it contains the two polar nuclei, nucleus of the polar nuclei and nucleus of the male gamete. So it is a triploid structure and it is primary endosperm nucleus, PEN. Clear? This fusion means fusion of the polar nuclei or the secondary nucleus and male gamete is known as triple fusion. Clear? In case of flowering plants, you can see that two fusions occur, syngamy and triple fusion. Therefore, this type of fertilization is known as double fertilization. And what are the products of double fertilization? Zygote and primary endosperm nucleus. This zygote is a diploid structure and primary endosperm nucleus is a triploid structure. And all these structures are formed inside the embryo sac. Clear?